Meanwhile, as we told you at the end of last hour, that the wonderful Media Matters for America decided that the gun laws didn't work for them. A staffer at the left-wing Media Matters for America committed numerous felonies in the District of Columbia and around the country by carrying a firearm to defend the organization's founder, David Brock. According to a knowledgeable source, multiple firearms used to protect the Media Matters founder were purchased with Brock's blessings and apparently with the group's money. The D.C. has previously reported that Brock's one-time aide, Hayden Price Morris, never trust a guy with three names. Seriously.
Except in this case, because he's about to give us very interesting information, isn't he?
John Wilkes Booth.
No.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yep.
A lot of serial killers, too. And
Mark David Chapman.
Yeah, we got it. He carried a concealed Glock handgun as he traveled with the liberal leader to public events in Washington, D.C. But the extent of Brock's armed activities have largely gone unknown until now, even among those closest to him. The array of current and former Media Matter sources, all with intimate knowledge about the inner workings of the organization, granted extensive interviews to the Daily Caller. Brock, who struggles with the mental... Brock, listen to this, who struggles with mental health issues. The head of Media Matters.
Shocking. This is a stunning development.
Whoa. Someone who founded or co-founded Media Matters is a nutball? What?
He struggles with mental health, which has seen him hospitalized in the past, became increasingly concerned by the late 2010 that he was being targeted by right-wing assassins. Well, here's what you do. In the District of Columbia or New York City, you hire a police officer because that's your only option. You hire a police officer. How do I know? I had to hire police officers. Or you hire a great protection firm like Gavin DeBecker and Associates. Holy cow. I think they have some connections with police officers in New York and the D.C. area. And they never, ever carry a weapon where they shouldn't carry a weapon. Isn't that interesting? You abide by the law. That's what you do. But these guys know. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to abide by the law. Brock had armed his assistant, who had no permit to carry a concealed firearm. He provided him with a handgun. According to the internal email exchange, the gun was purchased with cash in Maryland, likely to diminish the chances that such a purchase would appear on a tax-exempt group's books. So they bought an illegal gun with cash, and he then took it and gave it to somebody else. I mean, anyone else would be in federal prison. In the D.C. area, you'd be in federal prison for the rest of your life. Between Price Morris's early 2009 arrival and late 2010 departure from Media Matters, he also acquired a shotgun for Brock's protection. Unbelievable. Now, there's a great story up on the blog section of the Blaze. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, here's the latest. Meredith Jessup wrote something last week, I think it was last week, about gun control. Marilyn Katz. Marilyn Katz is a SDS radical who used to make improvised explosive devices. And she actually, if I'm not mistaken, she actually argued and was putting glass and nails into bombs. And she was arguing that it's great. It's great because you'll have those nails. Remember, they're blowing up police stations. You'll have those nails go into people. Okay. She came out, I think, last week or the week before and said, all weapons, for our children's sake, should go away. You were arguing and you were putting nails in bombs and blowing them up. Well, now these radical guns. Now, Weather Underground wacko Bernadine Dorn, Mrs. Bill Ayers, is also speaking out. And unlike Katz, who worked to supply deadly weapons to leftists, Dorn and her radical buddies weren't afraid to use them on innocent people. The Weather Central Committee was to direct underground bombings nationwide from New York, Chicago, Detroit, and Berkeley, aimed at police, aimed at military, and university and commercial targets. There were also talk of assassinations. The Libertarian News Service reported, quote, part of armed struggle, as Dorn and others laid it down, is terrorism, political assassination, and violence. They were put forward as legitimate forms of armed struggle. Now she comes out. She was on the FBI's most wanted list. Now she comes out in an op-ed piece, and she says, we want military-style weaponry banned. We want smaller schools with nurses and social workers and librarians and parent volunteers, all of which are shown to contribute to less disruption and less violence. Let's promote gun control provisions and regulations that enhance teaching and learning as well as justice and safety for our children, not those that will further incarcerate and punish and demonize young people of color. We've been there before. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Michael Moore, in the last couple of weeks, has had his bodyguard arrested a second time for an illegal gun in an airport in New Jersey. His bodyguard. He needs protection, but he's against people having guns. Now Media Matters, the head of Media Matters, goes and purchases an illegal gun and gives it to his bodyguard, who has no credential, no right at all to carry it in the district. Will any one of these guys actually go to jail?
And forget about David Gregory, too, on TV holding up the letter from the police is incredible about David Gregory. I mean, they say not only did he blatantly break the law, but also NBC was told in advance that they were breaking the law, and they still aren't doing anything about it.
Oh, my gosh.
You got to,
Oh, bring it up.
Yeah,
let me take a break. You grab it. I mean, you remember what Fox did? Everything we did and everything we do on this network, everything is run through an attorney, make sure that we're exactly right, make sure that it's all right. We weren't allowed to do anything on Fox, bring in a gun. We had to go to a staging department and get bogus guns, and they had to have the little red ring on the end. We had to go to a film department to get them. And David Gregory, oh, my gosh.